Hi everyone, my name is Siti Hanisa binti Mamadil, and today I would like to share with you about the trending review, neurodivergence and social media. So, without wasting our time, so before we go deep into this topic, let's think for a moment. Do you have these difficulties? Like the first time, maybe you have difficulty following instruction, you have an issues with focus and concentration when you are doing the work. Maybe you have difficulty organizing your own thoughts. Maybe in terms of communication, you also have difficulty to interact with other people, and at the same time, maybe you stuck in repetitive behaviors or routines. So you're probably thinking right now that you are dealing with at least two or three of these issues. May also be wondering, am I a neurodivergent? Okay, so but guys, before we jump to any conclusion, we must know what is neurodivergent and why it is trending on social media. So, what is neurodivergent? Neurodivergent refers to individuals whose brains develop or function differently, and this may imply that they face different obstacles and strengths than those whose brains are similar. Learning disabilities, medical disorders, and other conditions are among the possible differences. So that is neurodivergence. So these are the examples that I could share with you. What is neurodivergence? Okay, the first one is attention deficit disorder, or known as ADHD. This is the quite new and hot topic in social media nowadays. And we have also Down syndrome, dyslexia, and obsessive compulsive disorder, or more known as OCD. We have autism also, bipolar disorder, and many more like Tourette's and social anxiety or intellectual disability. So these are the examples of neurodivergence. Alright, this is just a brief of neurodiversity, brief history of neurodiversity that I retrieved from Health Harvard blog. Okay, this to be simply explained to you, the terms neurodiversity was coined by sociologist Judy Singer in 1998 in her 1998 honor thesis entitled Odd People in the Birth of Community Among People on the Autistic Spectrum, a personal exploration of a new social movement based on neurological diversity. This thesis was based observation of good group within the Autism Self Advocacy Network, a is a grassroots disability rights group in America, run by and for autistic people to advocate for themselves. It remains a highly influential organization today. Singer also explored her own experiences of being the middle of three generations of women on the autistic spectrum. So her insight highlighted the social movement unfolding within the autistic and disability community. Singer's work was pioneering, and we have to remember that at this time, public understanding of autism and other neurological differences was extremely low, and people face significant barriers and prejudice in society. Many of these barriers still exist today, and but the progress we have made is thanks to the voices like Singer. And however, there were other changes happening that fed into this shifting narrative. And as times goes in, the neurodiversity movement emerged during 1990s, aiming to increase acceptance and inclusion of all people while embracing neurological differences. Now to the fifth one, until now, through an online platform, more and more autistic people were able to connect and form a self advocacy movement. So that is the brief history. Now we are talking about the key personalities. Neurodivergent encompasses a range of conditions such as autism, ADHD, social anxiety, and OCD. So, however, there are some common traits often observed among neurodivergent individuals that I will explain in detail in another slide. I only take four key personalities that are trending nowadays, not only on social media but also among neurodivergent researchers. So, right, we now will look at the autism. Okay, what they had is they often possess a remarkable ability to notice details that other might overlook. At the same time, they prefer routines and may find comfort in predictability. They can become intensely focused on specific interests or subjects. At the same time, they tend to be straightforward in their communication, which can be perceived as honesty and bluntness, and they might be high sensitive to sensory input such as lights, sounds, textures, or smells. So that is autism. We move to the ADHD. uh, Often display high level of energy and enthusiasm. They can be very creative and come up with unique solutions to problem, and then tend to be spontaneous and can adapt quickly to new situation. On top of that, they are able to concentrate deeply on tasks that are of great interest. And they may act impulsively or have difficulty with delayed gratification. So that is ADHD. So what is social anxiety? What kind of trait they had is they may constantly monitor their own behavior and worry about how they appear to others. A core feature of social anxiety is a strong fear of being judged and negatively by others, and they may be highly sensitive to criticism and overthinking. Rumination happen in their head, and they have desire for acceptance. That is social anxiety. What about OCD? They tend to have attention to detail, same as autism, and desire for perfectionism. And at the same time, anxiety is a central feature of OCD, which driving both obsession and compulsions. And they have a need for control over their environment, and action is very common, which is very common. Individuals with OCD often exhibit high levels of consciousness, being diligent, careful, and responsible. Last but not least, the planning and organization can be coping strategy to manage anxiety and prevent perceived threats. So that is OCD. All right, now we'll move to the reason how for trending. Okay, neurodiversity is trending on social media due its impact on adults, social inclusion, occupational performance, and legislative obligations of organization. The second one is neurodiversity is trending in social media due to the influence of neuroscientific theories, practices, technologies, and therapies in the formation of identities and social networks. The third one, neurodiversity is trending in social media because it promotes acceptance and inclusion of neuro minorities such as learning disabilities and attention disorders. Last but not least, the increased understanding of neurodiversity is commensurate with the broader increase in the awareness of mental health issues in the workplace. That are the reasons for the trending. Okay, now the increased awareness of neurodivergence on social media had a profound impact on culture in several significant ways. So here are some key impacts. The first one is normalization and acceptance. In terms of that, social media has played a crucial role in normalizing neurodivergence, helping to shift public perception towards a greater acceptance. Hence, by sharing personal stories, experiences, and information, individuals and communities are educating the broader public and breaking down stereotypes. Next one, in terms of advocacy and activism, the awareness campaigns and advocacy efforts have gained significant traction on social media, leading to increased visibility for neurodivergent issues. Therefore, activists and influencers use these platforms to push for policy changes, better educational changes, better educational resources, workplace accommodations, and other forms of systemic support. The third one would be educational resources. Social media is a rich resource for information on neurodivergence, providing access to articles, videos, infographics, and first-hand accounts. Thus, this easy to access to information helps to educate both neurodivergent individuals and neurotypical allies, fostering a more informed and empathetic society. The fourth one would be in terms of intersectionality and diverse narrative. So social media platform allow for the intersectionality of neurodivergent experiences to be explored and shared. Thus, these include the experiences of neurodivergent individuals who also belong to other marginalized groups, adding depth and nuance to the conversation. Last but not least, we look at the youth empowerment, which is the younger generation who are prolific social media users are being exposed to neurodivergent perspectives early on. This early exposure fosters a more inclusive mindset and empowers neurodivergent youth to embrace their identity with pride. So these are the references that I have used as the resource to make this presentation works a success. So thank you for listening and Assalamualaikum.